Such wonderful songs that we are listening to. And they help us bring contentment into our lives. In this busy world that we find ourselves in, with all the sounds and different distractions going on, many years ago, Yogananda came to this country and taught meditation, Kriya Yoga, to as many as would receive. And at that time, it was just the peak of the Industrial Revolution in the United States. And for Yogananda, it was kind of a cultural shock to come from his quiet surroundings in the school in India that he was teaching to this sound, all the sounds and of a country moving at breakneck speed to amass power, to amass wealth, and to create better lifestyles for the people who have come to this country. Yogananda brought the science of Kriya Yoga to the Western world, which was so necessary at that time to help us calm our minds and to have contentment in our lives. He wrote, "In the temple of meditation, with the light of intuition burning on the altar, there is no restlessness, no nervous striving. Man is truly at home at last, in a sanctuary not made by hands, but with God's peace." And as time went on, through all the wars, all the strife, his teachings have remained alive in his writings. And the founder of Sunburst, Norman Paulson, as a young man, was able to be with him for 4 years at Mount Washington and develop that foundation of deep meditation. One day, toward the end of his life, Yogananda asked Norm to help him carry him up the stairs in Mount Washington. And they took the side route because the elevator was filling up with disciples who wanted to see him. And when he got to the top, Norm put Yogananda down, and Yogananda said, "Big boy," he called Yogananda Big Boy, "you're not even out of breath." "Well, sir, I'm pretty strong." And then Yogananda said to Norm, "You're going to need all the strength you get in your life." So that little experience popped in my head, because if you read Norm's autobiography, he definitely was a warrior, but he was able to take the time to meditate and find that deep place within himself and that light that was shining, that is shining always above his head and all of our heads. In the early 70s, when I came to Sunburst, Norm was giving the Kriya initiation just about every month, and I received the technique, and then I was meditating one night. I was practicing about 2 minutes, and all of a sudden, the top of my head opened up, and I wasn't aware of the body. I just felt my essence of my pure self. My pure self was that which is unchanged. And I was felt like I was sitting in the center of my head, like this temple, with a light, with the top of the with the top of the dome, or my head opened up, and through that dome I could see the brilliant sun. And then I heard this voice, or it was like maybe it was me, or saying, "I am always near, I will always hear." And then just like that, I was conscious of the room and people coming in for the meditation. And so every morning and evening, I try to be the first one into the meditation room, because it seemed like that experience was that happened to me when I came in early, but that's just me. I found this interesting quote about gratitude and contentment, because there's a little bit of difference between gratitude and contentment, though they are intimately related. And this quote said, "Gratitude is a measure of our perspective on the things we already have, and contentment is a measure of our perspective on the things that we don't have." And as I reflected on that, I realized that true contentment is an act of faith. It is an act of realizing that everything is going to be okay. And that deep peace that comes from this knowing fills us and helps us to show gratitude for our lives and for the people in our lives. Alfred Nobel, who was the Nobel Prize winner, he quoted, "Contentment is the only real wealth." And I think that was what Yogananda's message was, that if we try to accumulate wealth on the outside, it's only going to bring us ultimately not peace, not calmness, not contentment, as we keep grasping. But the only really wealth is the contentment of knowing that we are loved by Divine Spirit. Yogananda talked about finding contentment when there's no restlessness and no nervous striving. And the absence of those conditions brings us to a place of contentment. And then we realize that contentment is our true home. I heard this quote. It was from something that I maybe saw on YouTube, where scientists, psychologists were trying to isolate what's the fundamental, basic ground of our consciousness. In other words, our feeling. What is our basic feeling, purest in the purest sense? And they came up with this expression, relaxed joyfulness. And that, to me, is a very good definition of contentment. So everything, when we're quiet and all the thoughts cease, we're experiencing relaxed joyfulness. Yogananda also said that if we could still our thoughts for a couple seconds or a minute, that minute's pretty long, that we would be in cosmic consciousness. And as I go about my day, I realize that that's easier said than done. My meditations are pretty full of thoughts. But the one thing that Yogananda was talking about is willpower. He was always big on having us express willpower to make changes in our life. And there's a quote here that I have. So divine will is the will that comes from that light, that inner light that you can see. And that divine will is what chases away the darkness. There's no way really of forcing darkness away other than by turning. The only way you can force darkness away is to turn on the light. So that's being in a dark room. The only way to take the darkness away is to turn on a light. And that's ultimately the way it goes. Lasting meditation, or lasting contentment, comes from our realization that we are all sons and daughters of this wonderful spirit called by many names. God, I am that I am, divine spirit, the great spirit. So I was reflecting on my life's journey and how I received the meditation from Norm in the early 70s, and then I had some early experiences with the light. And then the light was not really around for a long time. At least I knew that I had faith that the light was always there, but I was going through some challenges in my life, and it seems like when I reached some of the lowest points, I always had help, divine help, and help of others to keep me on the path. Norm was a sailor, it was one of his main interests, and he talks about sailing our ships through storms to the only point of refuge, which is that center place, that center point within us, where the light in us, where the light is present in us as one. So as we go forth and spend some silence together, let us visualize that great light above the crowns of our heads. And as we inhale and as we exhale, let's draw that light down into us, filling us with the joy and the love and the contentment. Yogananda once said, to illustrate the power of will in keeping us content through all of life's situations, regardless of their severity, regardless of their subtlety. I stand unshaken amidst the crashing and breaking of worlds. And as I heard that, he also said that if you have a 120 volt light bulb and you connect it to 200 volts, you know what happens. It bursts the bulb. So through our willpower and desiring to know Spirit, we come to a place where we can weather, be content in life's storms. I just thought of that image of in the movie Forrest Gump, where Sergeant Dan is up on the top of the mast of the lobster boat in the middle of a hurricane, and he's in ecstasy. He's like, he's just going and enjoying the full fury of that moment. It's not so much he's content, but he's able to ride out the tremendous stress, the tremendous fear of being in that situation. And I'd like to mention a few affirmations that have helped me on the path. And the first one I was using very frequently, is to find, if you're at home and you're lying, you can lie on your bed or couch, and you can put one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart, and just say, I am calm, I am peaceful, I am relaxed, as you deeply inhale. And if you do that for about 10 minutes, it just really puts you in a really focused, present space. Of course, the same with a deep meditation. Another one is to say, I am grateful for, and then you can fill in the blanks. When you arise in the morning, when you're out, when you can think of it during the day. It takes willpower and it takes discipline. Another one is I practice recognizing the Great Spirit in everyone I meet. And then one that I'm really working on, one that's going to really help me, being in the astrological sign of Libra, is not to compare myself with others. And that's, for me, that's a big one. And then the other is for intuition. I open up to divine guidance. And not my will, but yours be done through me. Let us pray together. O Great Spirit, our Mother and Father, thank you for giving us this life and the opportunity to know you. And to give your presence to others. Be with us as we go forth in this day and the days ahead. To make choices that are in line with what you would have us do. We love you. We love each other. Amen.
Oh, listen to life's sweet song. Can't you hear how she longs for perfection like in days that are gone? So sweet and oh, so sad. So sweet and oh, so sad. Father, you're melting us all into one bright, shining, blazing sun. And we've all had the blues much too long, so we're all going back home to you. Oh, big wheels are turning round all around us without a sound, and they're spinning within us too. Oh, I can feel the love, can't you? Oh, I can feel the love, can't you? Father, you're melting us all into one bright, shining, blazing sun. And we've all had the blues much too long, so we're all going back home to you. I'm going home to the sea of love, yes, of love. Won't you come on along with me and ride the stars above, and ride the stars above. shining, blazing sun. And we've all had the blues much too long. So we're all going back home to you. Yes, we've all had the blues much too long. So we're all going